Hi, this is Bill, and you are on Finest Travel Beat with Angela and Bill. Today we're going to take you to the next stop on our Regal Princess British Isles cruise, the city of Cork, located on the south coast of Ireland. We're going to take you around with us on our excursion, show you Blarney Castle, Cork City, the fishing village of Kinsale, Blarney Woolen Mills, and give you some tips and tricks and some information on how to make your day in Cork or Cobh even better. So we hope you enjoy the rest of this video. Thanks again for watching, and we hope you're enjoying these videos. As you can see, it was a very foggy morning sailing into Cork Harbor to the port of Cobh. Now, Cobh is spelled C-O-B-H, but it's pronounced like Cove. Our captain did a fantastic job getting us into the harbor in heavy fog, as you'll see through this video. We got in on time. This is not a tender port, so we were able to walk right off the ship onto the dock. Now, on a personal note, this was an extremely important port for me, and it was a very emotional day. My family is originally from Cork, Ireland. They came over in the early to mid 1850s and settled in Vermont, and then eventually my grandfather, who was on the NYPD from 1914, moved to New York City. This was my second time to Ireland. The last time was with my mother, who has since passed away, and that was when I was 17 years old in 1984. So, needless to say, stepping off the ship was a dream come true to a large degree and very emotional. But I'll move on with the tour and tell you what we did and give you some more information as the video goes on. For this port, we used Shore Excursion Group, which is an independent vendor that we use quite often for some of my clients, particularly in the Caribbean. They are pretty reliable, but like I said, on this entire series, we tried different vendors to get a personal experience of how they were in comparison to each other. As you can see, it was a short walk when we got off the ship to meet the tour group we had. The ship does dock right downtown in Cobh, so there is plenty to do in that area. I'll explain a little bit more later on in the video. And as you step out the gate, you can see there's all the independent vendors that are waiting to people that were pre-booked. And there was also other vendors there that you can book taxi tours or independent vendors when you get off the ship as well. There were plenty of them in the area. This was a full bus tour. There was probably about 50 people in the group. It was a comfortable bus, as you'll see a little bit later on. And after we met our tour guide, they walked us a short distance to the bus that was waiting for us. As soon as we got on the bus, we knew it was going to be a great day. The tour guide was absolutely fantastic. He gave us so much about the history of Ireland, both older history and more recent history. He spoke of the economy, the troubles, the Gaelic language, the area, the healthcare system. Just constantly giving us information about the sites we were seeing and where we were going. And it was extremely engaging and very funny as well, in the typical dry Irish way.
So today we're going to have a bit of crack. Don't get me wrong. The Irish for fun in Ireland is crack. So don't misinterpret me when I say we're going to have a bit of crack.
As we leave Cobh for our drive, which took about an hour out to Charles Fort and the fishing village of Kinsale, let me give you a little information on the port itself. Cobh was originally named Cobh in 1750. However, the British renamed it Queenstown in 1849 to commemorate a visit by Queen Victoria. After the Irish Free State was established in 1921, the name was changed back to Cobh and remains that way till today. Cobh is also the last port that the Titanic stopped in before that fateful night when it struck the iceberg. And Cobh does have a Titanic museum that's located right near the port. Unfortunately, we did not have time to visit it. Although it was a little foggy in the morning, as you can see, it did clear up as the day went on, and we had absolutely Gorgeous weather and very unusual weather for the British Isles. One thing that'll strike you is the different shades of green, not only here, but you'll see later in the series in Scotland. Our first stop was a brief one at Charles Fort. It was more of a photo stop than anything else. Charles Fort was built in the 1670s and is located on Kinsale Harbor, right across from the village of Kinsale, the fishing village of Kinsale, which we would stop in afterwards. As you can see, the fog had burned off, and it was an absolutely gorgeous day here. We really enjoyed this visit. We were only there about 20 minutes. Again, these itineraries are very packed, so you're really not going to be able to spend as much time as you like at any one spot. But they are great to get a taste of a destination. Whether you want to come back on a guided tour or just go visit Cork, or just kind of get a sampling or a flavor for what you're looking at. Especially a larger bus tour that has multiple stops. It's going to be a little bit tougher to see anything up close and in detail. And as you can see, Angela had an absolutely great time, and there she is waving to you guys now. Through the rest of this series, and then also we did a New England cruise as well. We did several tours that were very small groups, and we found them much better. Again, there's a cost factor involved in that, so there's a trade-off, and in the future videos, you'll see what we mean. It was a very short bus ride across the harbor to the fishing village of Kinsale. Kinsale is really adorable. It has the brightly colored buildings, as you can see. We're going to walk through a little bit. Adorable. We were there for about an hour. Enough time to kind of walk around. It's a very small, walkable village. We stopped in, had a pint, did a little bit of shopping, and just really enjoyed walking around this village. Now, as you know, I'm going to hit you with a little bit more history. The Lusitania was sunk by a German U-boat about 11 miles off of the coast of Kinsale Harbor, hastening the United States' entry into World War I, and the Lusitania still sits in those waters. There were some really adorable antique shops. You can see they're selling some of the old tin toys, which was really neat to look at. We spent a little bit of time in there. Again, just a really nice day. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Unusually warm for September in Ireland. The temperatures in the 80s every day. We were prepared for winter weather and rain, and we got none of it. We walked around the village a little bit. Like I said, we stopped off at a pub, grabbed a pint, had some really nice conversation with the bartender and the locals. The people there are outrageously friendly. Can't say enough good things about the people of not only Ireland, but of Scotland and England as well. That was really one of the highlights of the trip, was just meeting so many great people, even though they sometimes were hard to understand with the various dialects. One other quick note is that when we got off the bus, when we first arrived in Kinsale, they pointed the direction to a restroom. The restroom had a lengthy line, so Angela and I, as we usually do, went the opposite way of the crowd, and were able to find a pub that had a restroom and used that, and avoided the crowds most of the day. I was back on the bus for our trip to Cork City. Cork City is one of the largest cities in Ireland. The bus driver did a great job of driving us all around and pointing out different landmarks and points of interest. Again, we were in a large bus, so they weren't able to let us off, take pictures of everything, but he gave us a really good overview so that we kind of knew where we were going and had seen the different colleges and buildings and historic sites. And they did a great job, as you can see here. And the bus driver did a great job. The tour guide did a fantastic job. I believe we had about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of free time in Cork. The bus dropped us off kind of right in the middle of everything on the River Lee that you're looking at there. And this is where he left us off. And we did a little walking around. I'll talk to you a little bit about Ireland in general as we walk around through the city of Cork a bit. That's Carol's. You'll see that a little bit later on. That is a big Irish gift shop that you'll find in all the cities in Ireland. Now, Ireland is not part of the United Kingdom, and they are on the euro, so you'll have to have euros with you if you want to use cash. But credit cards are widely accepted throughout the United Kingdom. And there is the Pandora store, of course. One of the things that Angela and I do is I get her a Pandora charm from all the new places we've been to. Here you see the inside of Carol's I was telling you about. It is huge. It's got pretty much any type of Irish gift that you could possibly want, from postcards to pins to candy to coffee mugs and just t-shirts, sweatshirts. Again, pretty much anything you'd want, you'd have there. The prices aren't bad. And also, speaking of which, using credit cards, generally almost every place uses the tap option rather than like sliding a credit card in or inserting. So look for a credit card that has that when you're bringing it. And also, what we usually do is have a credit card with us that isn't attached to our bank account. It's a regular card with a low limit on it. That way, if heaven forbid our card get compromised, which it did not, it is not a hassle and it's not really tied to anything. The next stop was Blarney Castle and the village of Blarney. With our excursion, the admission to Blarney Castle was included. That's something you definitely want to make sure of when you are booking your excursions, whether admission to places are included or pre-purchased. We had a night med in Edinburgh that I will explain to you later on in this series, and we were not able to get into Edinburgh Castle, which was obviously disappointing. For those that are unfamiliar, Blarney Castle is a medieval ruins of a castle. It's about 600 years old, and it sits on some beautiful grounds, absolutely gorgeous grounds to walk around. On top of Blarney Castle is the Blarney Stone. To kiss the Blarney Stone, you have to climb quite a few stairs that are very narrow, lean over backwards, be held out over the parapet, and kiss the stone. Now, I had done this back when I was 17 years old, and don't think I was going to try it again at this point. Besides, as you can tell from this video series, I do not need any more gift of the gab. I hope you enjoyed that little clip of the bagpipes. If you know the name of the tune he was playing, drop it in the comments below. Anyway, those that kiss the Blarney Stone are said to get the gift of the gab. There's quite a legend behind it. I won't go into it in this video because it's lengthy. You can look that up. We decided to walk up to see because the line is generally very long. If the line was shorter, we probably would have done it, but the line was pretty long, and with the limited time, we wanted to go into the village of Kinsale a little bit, do a little bit of shopping, and grab a bite to eat. Before leaving, we did explore a little bit of the grounds, including this cave, which was really neat. As you can see, very, very low ceiling to it. And we didn't go all that far in because, definitely didn't want to hit our head, but you can, mind your head. You can see how narrow it is and how low it is. Again, just really interesting things. This entire trip was just full of unexpected wonders that we can't say enough about what a great time we had. You can see as this gentleman comes out how narrow it is, or how low the ceiling is. After leaving Blarney Castle, we decided to walk around the village of Blarney a little bit. We grabbed a bite to eat at the Muskery Arms Bar and Bed and Breakfast. Had a really good hamburger, and also had a couple of pints of Smithwick's. After our lunch, we made our way over to one of the main attractions for us. Angela and I like our shopping, and Blarney Woolen Mills is one of the places to do it. It is the largest Irish shop in the world. They have a lot of wool, a lot of higher-end Irish gifts as well, Waterford Crystal, they have Balik, but they also have a ton of sweatshirts, t-shirts, Irish gifts. They have some of the stuff that they have in the less expensive stores, but they also have some beautiful wool. I'm allergic to wool and don't need much wool in Florida, but if you live in northern states, it's world known for their wool products and their Irish gifts. It's again very famous, huge, several floors. They actually have a restaurant on premises as well that I didn't know about. You can also get your Claddagh rings here, jewelry, pretty much anything you can think of in Ireland. It's available at the Blarney Woolen Mills. As we show you just a little bit more of the shopping in Blarney Woolen Mills, if you're getting value out of this video, please hit that like button. Let us know in the comments below whether you're enjoying this content or there's something that you think we could do better or you would like to see, and if you have been to Ireland as well. And again, if you're getting value out of this and want to see future videos in this series, hit that subscribe button. We have almost 150 videos up on the channel, including cruises, port reviews, all-inclusive resorts, and general travel info. Hit a little bit of traffic on our way back into Cobh, but the bus driver did a great job. We drove a little bit through Cobh, and it is absolutely adorable. If I was going to go back, I might just stay there. There's the old White Star headquarters where the Titanic Museum is. Looks like lots of nice little shops, some churches. There are houses called decks, a deck of cards. They're very colorful houses up on a hill that looks like decks of cards that might fall over. There's so much to do and so many choices on these itineraries. And again, this is what we chose. I'm not going to say what we chose is the best or the worst. It's just what we kind of wanted to do at the time. So if you've been to Cobh and you've done a different excursion, let us know also in the comments below what you did and how you liked it. Back on the ship, we had an absolutely beautiful sail away. You can see the weather really cleared up, and we had a gorgeous day, and loved our day in Cobh and in Cork City. Again, a very emotional day for me, and thank you for coming along on the journey with us. And on behalf of Angela, come join us on our next adventure. Bye-bye, everybody.